Welcome back to Everything's Dumb. We are here with another episode. My name is Kate.
I'm Victoria.
And today we were talking about public transportation, or the lack thereof, in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
But first, I wanted to talk about this past weekend. I went to a soccer game with our friend Callie.
Yay!
Angel City.
Yes.
It was very fun. And we go with Callie occasionally, not together, because she gets us a guest ticket, but she has season passes along with her friends Chelsea and Danette, and we all go together. It's such a fun time. 2 nights ago I went, and part of the deal is because it's like season tickets, VIP kind of thing. Thank you again, Kelly.
Yeah.
They have complimentary food and then complimentary beer and wine.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I have gone at different times, as I said, but we were strategizing the other night. And before I was going to go to the game, and you brilliantly informed me that they do allow you to get 2 beers at once.
Yes.
Which I was not aware of. And that opened up a whole new world to me. So I wanted to thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Take this opportunity to formally thank you for that. I did have a fun time. So here's my strategy. I came up with this like in the shower the day of going to the game. But here's my strategy for getting 2 beers. Ready?
Okay.
I went up to the bartender, and they had like 4 beers on tap and then more that were in cans. And I looked at the beers on tap, and I was like, all right, I got my beer. And so I went up, and I was like, hey, can I get the Golden Road? And then also, you know what? Make that 2 Golden Roads. I'll do that. Let's do that. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you assume, incorrectly, that I am getting a Golden Road from my friend.
Yeah.
This is not, I didn't lie.
Right.
This was all unsaid. This was manipulation.
Right.
At its core. 1 for my friend, and then I decided, you know what? Actually, that sounds good right now.
Yeah.
Make that 2.
Like the one that you order with confidence is what your friend has said that they want.
I was sent here for that.
Yeah.
This isn't me.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah.
Me? Actually, you know what? Maybe it is me. Maybe I would like a Golden Road. And then I go back to the seat.
With 2 beers.
With 2 beers and go, here's your beer, Callie, who's gluten-free.
Who doesn't drink beer.
I'll just keep it over here next to me on this side as I hold the other one that I drink.
Oh, I just sit down and I put 1 in the cup holder next to me at the end of the row, and then I just drink. I don't even pretend to give her one.
Oh, it was a show for everyone else in the look, here is your beer. I'll start by drinking it.
Yeah, no, I don't even pretend.
But the other thing, so you told me about the beer, but you apparently didn't realize that they had wine there as well.
I mean, I knew that they had wine, but I know that the beer is free.
Yes.
For, like, season ticket people.
Yes.
And, like you said, we go with Callie as a guest of hers, so we're technically season ticket people when we're there with her. So fancy.
We are VIPs.
Yes.
But only when we're with Callie.
So the beer is free, and then I know that you can buy cocktails.
Yes.
Because I see, the first time I went, Callie was like, oh, the beers are free. Like, go up and get whatever you want. It's totally free. And then I saw people paying, and I was like, oh, shit. I don't even think I had my wallet on me. Like, I had left it back at the seat. So I ordered a beer, and then I was like, and do I pay? And they were like, no, it's free. And I was like, oh my God, thank you.
You're the best.
But yeah, so I knew that you had to pay for cocktails.
Right.
I knew they had wine, but I assumed you also had to pay for the wine.
Right. No. Beer and wine are free.
Oh my God.
And I found that out. So I think when I went, she had told me that like beer and wine were both free.
I mean, maybe she told me and I just forgot.
I don't know why she omitted the wine for you.
I don't know.
Maybe she knows.
She was like, I should not tell
you
Victoria.
Don't give the Irish one the wine. No.
Well, you're German. That's no better.
I mean, that would make sense that she just told me about the beer then. But yeah, so she told me like beer and wine were free. And you could pay for cocktails. She also threw that in there because that's also a possibility.
Yeah.
But when it's free, you feel it's a waste to not take advantage of free alcohol. I'm sorry. If you're going there and paying for something, yes, cocktails are pricier and more expensive. Like, you get more value, I guess. You don't have to drink as many. But, like, what a waste of a free offering. Anyway,
Yep.
so
Yeah, I'm not a wasteful person.
no, we respect the rules.
Exactly.
So when I went, one of the times that I've gone previously, I got a beer, and I think it was a little chilly that day or something for me. And
So every day.
I had to throw that in there. It was probably like 70 something. But it was a little chilly, and I decided, you know what, maybe instead of another beer, I'll get a wine this time. And so because it's a sports arena, like they give you the plastic pint glasses of beer. And I assumed that like they probably have like either the little wine glasses, like those little plastic ones that they fill with wine, or they're taking a 12-ounce pint glass, filling it halfway, which is a standard 6-ounce pour for wine. And that's what I was going to walk away with. And I was standing, there's multiple bars at this place, and they all have a bunch of TVs on it, on top of the bars that are playing definitely the game that's happening outside, because this is like inside, you have to go inside to get drinks. And then they're playing other random sports things because there's so many TVs.
Yeah.
And so I was standing in line at a bar, and I look over and see another bartender, and I don't know why I noticed this, but I just happened to see this bartender handing a full pint glass of 12 ounces of wine
What?
to the person who is at the front of the line.
Oh my god.
And I was standing in line behind this man, and we were like a few people back, and I was so shocked. And again, I had had a beer or so.
Yeah.
And I out loud went, oh, shit. And the guy ahead of me was like, I know, great game, right? Like, he's pointing up to the TVs. And I was like, dude, we are not on the same wavelength whatsoever.
You're
And
here for the sports. I am here for the drink.
I'm shocked and impressed by the play happening over here.
Yeah.
Of this woman handing a 12-ounce pint glass filled to the brim with red wine to this person. And so he, oh shit, and he went, oh yeah, great play. And I just went, yeah. And I just immediately walked away and walked over to
That bartender is serving what I want.
I just got in line behind that person.
Yeah.
And I was just like, can I get a wine? And again, was
Oh my
handed
God.
a full pint glass. I went back to that seat so happy. You don't need two of those. You can just order one glass of wine if you're getting
because
two in one.
the beers that they have there they have like Heineken, they have like lagers and stuff like that. So they're approximately like 4-ish% alcohol, maybe 5. But like most of them I think are 4.
Yeah.
And a glass of like wine is what, like 13-ish%?
Yeah, anywhere between like 12 and 16 I've seen.
Yeah, so drinking one full glass of wine is like having 3 or 4 beers.
Yeah.
And when I go to those games, I usually drink about 3 beers. If I can squeeze in a 4th, I do it. But like if I get 3, that's still pretty good.
I hit 4.
So,
It was
You're a
Callie,
professional.
Callie was the proponent of it because when we first got there, like there's the beer, there's the bars, and then the food.
Yeah.
And like I was about to start to walk towards the food, and she's like, "There's no line for the beer." And
Yeah.
she doesn't drink, so this was purely selfish move on her part. Just if you wanna, I'll stand here with you. Selfless.
you
Sorry.
said selfish.
Sorry.
Callie does not have a selfish bone in her body.
Selfless act on her part, telling me to get in line to get a beer immediately. And then, of course, I couldn't do 2 because I'm going to go get, like,
Right.
I wish I had the hands.
Yeah.
Like, a few extras.
Right.
But, yeah, that was a good time. And now we know all of the tricks.
Yeah. I also informed you that they stopped serving free alcohol at the 70-minute mark.
Ah, I see, yes.
Because I think in my first or second game, I went up at like 80 minutes. Like the game was almost over.
Yeah.
And I tried to get a beer, and they were like, just so you know, like we're charging for them now. And I booked it out of there.
Yeah.
So I was like, no.
Oh, I left my wallet. Not going to do that.
Yeah, you will not be seeing me again until the next game. Yeah.
Before the 70-minute mark, every time.
Yes. Yeah, but you got to time it right. You got to get like a beer or 2 before the game starts, another beer during the first half, and then like 1 or 2 more beers before the 60-minute mark. Because if you go down there at like 63 minutes, you might not get served until the 70-minute mark.
That's true.
Because sometimes the lines are very long.
It's a numbers game.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want Callie to think that we only care about the alcohol.
No,
we
we're
do
very
really
good at
care about the
planning
games.
things. It was a fun game, I think.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Well, they lost, but
I did. Yes, I do remember the game though.
yeah,
I did see it.
you did see it,
I did.
and you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You saw John Lovett.
I did.
Yeah.
And Jennifer Garner.
Yeah, last summer I saw Jennifer Garner and Jane Fonda. And then this year I saw Will Ferrell and John Lovett. I think that's probably it.
Saw a lot of Lilo and Stitch, too.
Yeah, there are a lot of like celebrities in the stands that I only see on the jumbo screen.
Right, yeah.
But those people I saw in person.
Nice.
Will Ferrell is tall.
Yes.
I mean, I knew he was tall, but like in person, he is tall. Especially because a lot of actors, when you meet them in person, they are quite short. Actors are a lot shorter than I think people realize.
Yeah, the normal people.
Yeah, but he is very tall. Anyway, yeah, those games are fun.
Yep.
I would love to be extremely wealthy and buy season tickets for all of the pals, and then we could all go together. Yeah. That'd be really fun.
Yeah. Okay, today we are talking about the lack of public transportation in the U.S. Public transportation in this country is a joke, pretty much.
It's abysmal.
And has been for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
So part of the reason that it is such a joke is, I mean, LA in particular apparently used to have one of the best streetcar systems in the entire world. We had two, technically. So there was the Pacific Electric, which were the red cars, and then we even had the Los Angeles Railway, which were the yellow cars. So we had a very intricate streetcar network that used to run the entire city, which was great because not only would it enable people to get from one place to another, but when you have an infrastructure set up like that, it doesn't encourage sprawl as much because you kind of want to be close to the public transportation system. And so if you have a solid one, like how New York doesn't really spread out. Yes, there's upstate and there's things on the outskirts and stuff like that, but it pretty much just grows upward and not outward.
Yes.
Like Los
Vertical
Angeles
real
does,
estate.
which is troubling because New York isn't, like, at least Manhattan is an island, and so there's only so many places they can put tall buildings to make them stable. And we're in Los Angeles, and we've got, like, one-story houses everywhere. It's ridiculous.
Is that an earthquake thing, or could we have taller buildings? I mean, I know we have some tall buildings.
Yes.
Like, downtown LA does have tall buildings.
Right.
And then there are some, there's, like, the Comcast building or something in the valley, like Studio City is...
Oh, that used to be...
so tall.
Universal. Yeah, it's...
But it stands out because nothing, like, everything around it is 1 or 2 stories.
Right. I mean, I think the earthquakes make it so that they have to, like, do extra things as far as making the building structure solid.
Okay.
But
it doesn't prevent us.
I mean, I don't think so.
Yeah.
If so, then why are there so many Anyway.
Yeah, we should have taller buildings. It's ridiculous that LA to me feels like 13 miles of neighborhoods right next to each other, and then in between the neighborhoods are just strip malls.
Yeah.
Like, that's what LA feels like to me. It does not feel like a city.
Yeah. Definitely parts of it. So, the reason that we no longer have this railway system, or both of these railway systems, is that in the 1930s and 1940s, a small group of companies led by General Motors, along with Firestone Tires, Standard Oil, and others, bought up many of these streetcar systems in cities across the U.S. So this was not just limited to Los Angeles. It did, of course, destroy both of our rail car systems here. Mm-hmm. But this also happened in San Diego, St. Louis, Baltimore, Philadelphia, Detroit, Cincinnati, even New York, which luckily New York already had a solid enough subway system that they were okay with losing their railway system, but they also lost their streetcar railways. And all of these then, of course, got replaced because they bought them up and then they shut them down and then they replaced them with buses that run on the roads and use oil and require tires.
Yep. Almost as if it's another issue brought to us by capitalism and greed.
Maybe. That's the subplot of this whole podcast.
Yeah.
So the last red car ran in 1961 in Los Angeles, which was the end of the era of that. But it didn't go unpunished. In 1949, General Motors and others were convicted in federal court because this was just a scheme. They literally took away something.
Yeah.
The other thing about this is that these were all privately owned rail car companies. These weren't public transportation that were owned by the government, so they were able to be bought up, unfortunately, and shut down like this. But in 1949, we got our shit together, and they were convicted in federal court of conspiring to monopolize the sale of buses and supplies. They were fined $5,000.
Oh my God.
In today's standards, that would be about $60,000
For like destroying
for General
cities.
Motors.
Oh my God.
So I think they had to look in like 2 whole couch cushions to get that amount of money
to find that loose change.
to pay
That's
for their
so annoying.
for destroying
Yeah.
the public transportation systems
Yeah.
in multiple major cities throughout the
Right.
U.S.
So the reason that we all now have to sit in traffic,
Yes.
hours of traffic,
Yes.
is because of them.
Yes.
Great. And also, we're all spending money on gas, which is terrible for the environment. Yeah.
It not
that
only
sucks.
hurts the environment, like I said, it hurts the urban sprawl of everything. It made everything much less efficient. And the pollution, of course, is way worse than it ever would have had to have been.
Right.
Many urban historians believe that this crippled the public transit in LA, and we are still trying to get it back with our car dependency.
Yeah.
So, I assumed that at least one great thing, I am so excited for the 2028 Olympics to come to Los Angeles. But one of the things that I was most excited about, besides getting to go see everything, and I mean, the traffic is going to be crazy, but the one thing that I was really excited about was like, when the Olympics come to a city, the amount of infrastructure that goes into that city is unlike any other.
Yeah.
There's nothing else that no elected politician will ever do as much
Right.
for a single city the way that the Olympics can, because they have to build so much for the increase in people that are going to be visiting there. So I know that a lot of this can cause problems if it's a smaller city or a poorer country where they have to build these like giant amphitheaters or swimming pool areas that
Yeah.
are never going to get used again. But at
Right.
least in Los Angeles, we already have a lot of that shit. Like, we
Yeah.
don't need to build stadiums and things. We
Yeah.
still have
We
the
have-
Coliseum. We've
right.
hosted the Olympics twice before. Like, we are set up for the events portion of it pretty well, I feel. At least I haven't heard of any like giant construction projects that are happening to build new Staples
Yeah, I
Centers.
think we have the stadiums and the pools and
Right.
everything like that.
Which then leads to, so all of that money can go towards transportation infrastructure. We do have a metro
Yeah.
in this city, despite Beverly Hills' best fucking efforts. More on that later.
Beverly Hills is always the problem.
The worst hell on earth.
Yeah.
But I then assumed that like this is going to be the thing that like cleans up the metro, expands the metro, gets, you know, all of these systems into place. Maybe we can, I don't know, we won't get rail cars, but maybe the buses can be like better somehow
Yeah.
and electric and just something to where we can then function as a city that maybe like has public transportation. The metro doesn't reach that far. It doesn't run that often. It doesn't
Right.
run that late. Like, if we could just
Yeah.
improve upon what we already have, and if we have the money and the need to do that, that would be amazing.
Yeah. I used to come to, when I lived in East Hollywood, which is on the other side of the Hollywood Hills from where we are now. It's like right next to Hollywood proper. I used to take the metro to come up to see you here in North Hollywood. And I would always have to watch the clock at night because I was like, well, I have to leave before the metro closes down for the night.
Because there's just a certain point where you can't travel within the city
Right.
unless you have a car.
Yeah. And even if it's still running, I don't know what time, but maybe past like 11 p.m. or something, it still runs for another hour or two, but the trains are like 30 minutes apart.
Yeah.
So you really have
If
to
you
time
miss
it.
one, you're sitting in the dark
Yeah.
on a street corner in Los Angeles
Yeah.
for 40 minutes until the
Yep.
next one comes. What could go wrong?
In LA, definitely not murder.
We don't have that here. So I want to read parts of this article to you that I found a couple of days ago
Okay.
regarding the Olympics. Again, so
Ooh,
excited
yes.
for all of the infrastructure that is going to then you know, once the Olympics are done, yes, it's going to be crazy during the Olympics and the Paralympics. Like, everyone's going to be everywhere. It's going to be trafficy. There's going to be so many more people in the city than there even already are, which I don't even know how it's possible. But that is going to happen. And then after the Olympics, we're just going to have all this infrastructure. We're going to have all of this incredible stuff that we'll be able to, like, utilize and have for our own people in our own city.
Yeah.
Let me read you this article from the manual. This electric aircraft will be the official air taxi of the 2028 Summer Olympics.
What? An air taxi? Is there a photo?
There is.
Whoa,
It
that's
looks
cool.
like a tiny little electric helicopter / plane thing.
Yeah.
Archer Aviation has been chosen as the official air taxi provider for the 2028 Olympic and Paralympic Games in Los Angeles and Team USA. The LA28 collaboration will utilize Archer's Midnight VTOL aircraft to transport fans, VIPs, and here we are, stakeholders.
Oh.
Rich people shit.
Yeah.
The partnership will also provide support for security and emergency services. Okay, emergency services, abso-fucking-lutely. Yes, get people in and out as fast as they can. If an athlete has an issue,
Yeah.
use everything at your disposal. But this is basically a taxi so that the rich people don't have to sit in traffic.
Oh, yeah. So, real quick, not to interrupt your entire episode, but our last episode was about airports and flying, and I mentioned LAX. Do you remember hearing a few years ago that LAX was considering building a private terminal to avoid the congestion caused by paparazzi? So that if you are someone who garners a lot of public attention when you're out in public, you can get dropped at this private terminal. And they phrased it as if they were helping society by, like, avoiding the problem of paparazzi.
Right.
But really what people responded to and said was, you are spending taxpayer money building a private terminal for celebrities so that they don't have to deal with the rest of us.
Right.
So let's not spend taxpayer money on that. And I don't know if they're still going to do it or not. I remember hearing about it a few years ago, and I'm not sure what happened to it. But yeah, this is basically the same thing.
It's the same thing. Yeah. Oh, there's going to be a problem where there's going to be so many more people in the city, and they're all going to need to get somewhere. How do we help the rich people?
Right.
How can we make the rich people not have to deal with this problem that everyone else is going to have to deal with?
And I'm sure that they phrase it something like, we're going to make this available to cut down on the congestion, but then when you look at the ticket prices for this taxi or the fare prices, it's like $4,000 per person, and you're like, oh, so this is just strictly for rich people. Great.
LA28's chairperson and president, Casey Wasserman, said, "At LA28, we're building a platform for constant innovation and creativity, which is why we've partnered with forward-thinking companies like Archer. Our vision is to fundamentally reimagine the Olympic and Paralympic Games experience, and this partnership represents an incredible opportunity to deliver something unprecedented, showcasing the very best of what Los Angeles has to offer the world stage for rich people."
Yeah. I feel like rich people have it good enough.
Yeah.
Maybe give the poor people something once. It's like when I was reading a list of, like, stupid tweets that celebrities put out over the years. And
must have been long.
Yeah, it was. And some of them were really dumb. Like, it was like accidental tweets and stuff like that. Like, one man accidentally tweeted sex gifs when he, like, gifs, like a meme, like a gif, but I think they're pronounced gif. He clearly meant to search for it, and he accidentally tweeted it.
Nice.
But one of them was Kim Kardashian, I guess, tweeted at Armani because she thought that her, like, favorite shade of foundation had been discontinued, and she was mad about it.
The shade that's, like, 4 shades darker than my actual skin.
Yeah. Okay. And they responded to her and said, "No, we still make that foundation. Like, let us know whichever one you need and we'll send it to you." And I was like, this woman has so much money. Yeah. She can afford your overpriced foundation. Like, how about send it to minimum wage workers who are trying to work in some fancy hotel because maybe they'll make an extra tip on the weekend or something, send it to them so that they can look nice. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, why do rich people get shit for free? Or at least, like, nice stuff that other people don't have access to. Okay. Sorry.
Oh, the other thing I wanted to say about this, part of the reason that I was so excited for the infrastructure thing is that they did, I remember back when the last Olympics were happening last year, they were talking about the next Olympics in LA being car free. It's a car free Olympics. So that's what they were promising.
Yeah.
They have now changed that to car optional.
Oh, of course.
Which is kind of like, I mean, you could walk 12 miles until the next event.
Yeah. Because these stadiums are on the outskirts of
Yeah.
what we think of as LA.
Yeah. I mean, some
Like
of the
they
stuff,
are in LA County, but when you think of the city of LA,
Right.
most of them are on the southern.
Right.
Like the stadium that you and I go to for those soccer games, which
Coliseum.
is right next to the Coliseum, those are pretty far south.
So the Coliseum is one of the places that's going to get one of these hubs for these air taxis.
Okay.
The other place, I don't know why, Inglewood. Why wouldn't the rich people want to be driving into Inglewood? I can't imagine. Aren't you familiar with the area already, sir?
No, they're not.
Ma'am?
Not at all.
So bullshit.
Yeah, they don't want to be on street level
No. Speaking of
in
which,
Inglewood.
we do need to talk about Beverly Hills.
Oh, God.
LA is far too large to have these limits that it has as far as public transportation. One of the billion reasons, I just realized we need to have an episode where we talk about Beverly Hills because it keeps coming up, and that'll be the first spin-off episode. Beverly Hills, since the early 2000s, has been lobbying against, protesting, fighting against, and literally suing the city to stop a subway station, a metro stop, from being within the city limits of Beverly Hills.
Okay, I didn't know that, and I already hated Beverly Hills.
It has been an ongoing battle
Of course they're doing that.
for a couple of decades now, where they cite reasons such as safety and the construction noise that would be happening in Beverly Hills if they were building a metro stop to expand the metro for people to be able to travel throughout the city.
Right, but the rest of us have to deal with construction noise because they're building
But we don't.
subway lines throughout the entire city.
Yeah, we don't care about the rest of Los
my God.
Angeles. It's just about Beverly Hills. So, finally, over decades of this fighting, they lost.
Oh, good.
The Purple Line extension is happening. It is expected to be
Yay.
finished in 2027 in time for the 2028 Olympics.
Oh, great.
And I think when it's done, you and I should get in our dirtiest sweats.
Yeah.
Like our filthiest, we won't wash our hair for at least 5 days. And just grab some bags of chips.
Yep.
And just go sit on the metro and just ride around Beverly Hills and get off at every station and ask people for directions, ask people to use their cell phones, everyone that we can find. They deserve it more than anyone.
Yeah.
And
They're fucking snobs.
fuck Beverly Hills.
Yeah, seriously.
So excited for that metro.
Yeah, that's great. That's a win.
There's going to be 3 stops in Beverly Hills.
Good. Because,
Hopefully the first 3 of many, many more.
yeah, I worked in Beverly Hills, as I have said before on this show, and it was, like I said, a minimum wage job, and I had to take the bus there because I didn't have a car.
Yep.
And even if I had a car, there was no parking for employees, of course.
No.
So I would take the bus there, and then I'd get off the bus, and I had to walk 20 minutes from the bus stop to the restaurant.
Yeah.
And then, of course, at night at 11 p.m., I had to walk back. And then
Yeah.
I had to wait like 45 minutes for the bus to come because they don't come very often at night. But yeah, a subway, I mean, I lived so close to a subway stop at that point.
Right.
That would have helped
Because
so
there's
much.
a lot of them throughout the whole rest of the city.
Right.
You can pretty easily find, there's one 10 minutes away from me.
Yeah.
Like, they're not hard to find when they finally build them.
Yeah.
But when one fucking city within Los Angeles has a stick so far up their own asses
Yeah.
that they refuse to be part of the rest of Los Angeles and be seen wandering the streets with other people who aren't from Beverly Hills.
Other people who came in on the subway. That's gross. That's gross behavior.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad it's finally going to be over.
Yeah.
And I hope that they just keep building more and more and more and more. Wonderful. So we kind of lightly touched on this. What's the worst public transportation you've ever had to take? Like the worst issue you've ever had to take?
Well, I took the bus in LA for many years.
Mm-hmm.
And I took the subway or the metro in LA for many years. Like I used to take the bus every day to and from work for years. And I worked 2 jobs for a lot of that time. So I would take it to my first job, and then I would take it to my second job, and then I would take it home. So I was on like anywhere from 3 to 6 buses a day. And then, yeah, I used to take the metro up to North Hollywood to visit you. And then I worked in North Hollywood. So I'd take it up to work, take it home at night. So I've had a lot of bad experiences. I'm not sure if I can remember specifically like the worst one, but just in general, I mean, the buses do not run on any kind of schedule.
Right.
They're supposed to, but they don't show up.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely had times where I was looking at the schedule on my phone and it's supposed to show you in real time where the bus is on the little map.
Right.
And it would say it was coming in like 14 minutes. And so I'd wait at the bus stop, which is always like in direct sunlight and, you know, no benches because God forbid someone sit down. And
well, that's just going to encourage loitering.
Right. Oh my God. Imagine someone hang out in the city that they live in. Terrible. So it said like 14 minutes away. So I'd stand there for 12 minutes and then I would look out for the bus and I'd get out my little tap card and I'd be all ready. And then it like 5 minutes would go by and no bus came by.
Yeah.
And everyone else and myself, we were all like looking down the road looking for the bus and no bus anywhere in sight. And then I would look at the thing and it said it had departed like 5 minutes ago. And I was like, no, it didn't. No, it didn't. And this happened to me so many times. Like, over the 4 or 5 years that I took the bus almost every day, I mean, this probably happened, like, close to 100 times. I'm not kidding. Like, it happened probably at least twice a week.
Have you ever had a bus drive past you because it's full?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then when you're running late to work because the bus is messed up, you can't really get to work and be like, well, the bus just drove right by me. Or, like, the bus never came. Because they don't care. But it's like, I would have been here.
Yeah.
I was early to the bus stop.
I did that once when I was living in Pasadena. I was working at a Gap, and I was standing outside waiting for the bus.
Yeah.
And I saw the bus coming. Like, there was a stop down the street, like, close enough that I could see. And then the bus just drove right past me.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, what the fuck? And then I think I waited there for a few minutes, and then another bus did the same thing. And so I called work and I was like, I don't know what's happening. Like, the bus just drove right past me. Like, I don't know. It said that it was full or something. Like, I'd never experienced that before.
Yeah.
This was a bus that I got on every day for work.
Yeah.
And it was always empty. And for some reason that day it was like super packed. And so I called and explained what happened. And then I just had to walk to work. Like, I was walking to work and I was like, I just have to start.
Yeah.
And then if I see another bus along, like, I'll just walk the bus route.
Yeah.
And then if I see another bus along the way, I'll try to catch it. But then, like...
You're, like, walking, and when you start to get close to a bus stop, you look behind you to see if there's a bus coming.
And, of course, it's never going to line up exactly.
Right.
Like, I could wait here for another 10 minutes and then get on a bus, or I could just keep walking. Like, I would just get frantic because I was late for work. Like, I already called, and I was like, I have to... This is 4 miles away.
Yeah.
I had to walk 4 miles at the last minute, thinking that I was going to be there in, like, 20 minutes, and now I have to walk for 4 miles.
For, like, an hour.
Fast as I can.
Yeah.
And it was a job that I was able to take service streets. Like, Pasadena is really nice. And I had walked there, like, to and from work before, so it wasn't a big deal. But I had walked there, like, with the time allowance of I can take my time and leisurely walk to work.
You didn't have to power walk, like,
oh my God,
sweaty.
I literally showed up to work, and I was like, I'm buying this shirt to change into right now because I have sweat through the shirt that I wore to work because I was walking in the sun as fast as I possibly could.
Yeah.
With, like, my lunch bag and my, you know, like, and your water bottle. It's not like you're just like, oh, I can just go for a jog now. Like, I have all my shit and I'm wearing my work clothes and it's just...
Yeah, I had a lot of those experiences where I didn't have time to walk. Like,
Yeah.
I had to be there in 45 minutes. And if the bus had come, like it said it would,
Yeah.
I would have been 25 minutes early to work.
Right.
But the bus isn't coming. And if I start walking, I will be half an hour late.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I've had to, and I think the story you just told in Pasadena was probably before Lyft and Uber.
Yeah.
But a lot of times I knew that if I walked, I would be late to work. So I had to call an Uber.
Yeah.
And I was like, I get paid minimum wage.
Yeah.
I just spent
There goes
3 hours worth
all
of
my
work.
pay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, so I don't have like one nightmare story, but just a cacophony of
Do you have
shitty situations.
Do you have a best public transportation story?
Um.
I saw you on the metro once, totally by chance. That
Oh
was really
yeah,
fun.
that's true.
I never took the metro at that. Like, depending, you know, when you live a certain place and you work a certain
Yeah.
place, like sometimes you take public transportation. I had taken the metro that day because I had this like facial coupon gift certificate thing that I had had for years for the W Hotel Spa.
Oh, fancy.
And I'd had this thing for like, I'd gotten it for Christmas from an ex-boyfriend, Sean Rowe, shout out. And because he was a valet at the W, and so he was like, what do you want for Christmas? I was like, give me a spa treatment. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. I thought he had a discount. I don't think he did. Which was still very nice of him to
Yeah,
still get.
that's nice.
But I had this like gift card that I just never used. And one day I was just like, doing it. I'm gonna go. And I was, to make myself more relaxed, I was like, I'll just take the metro there and I'll like put on music and listen to a book. Because I feel weird in an Uber or Lyft being like,
Yeah.
hi, and then just putting my headphones in. Like, I feel like I kind of have to be, it's like customer service. I don't want to
Yeah.
be rude. I would
Yeah.
never go up to like check out somewhere with someone on the phone.
I mean, other people do that, and
Yes.
I think that you should be immediately put in jail for that.
Well, I've had people come up to me and do that when I was the cashier, and they're like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry."
Yeah.
They're like, apologize. And I'm
Well,
like,
that's
"Oh,
different.
go for it. Yeah, you understand."
But
that
when
this
they
is not
just are on
normal.
the phone and then they shove
Yeah.
their stuff at
and they're
you
just
and they
like,
don't
huh?
even look.
Yeah, and then you have to ask them a question or something, and they're like, "What?" And
Yeah.
it's like you're inconveniencing them by
Right.
not being invisible and silent while they're on a phone conversation.
Right.
But they came up to you anyway. So I was just like, I'll just take the metro down, and like I won't have to drive and everything, and I won't have to spend money on an Uber. Like, it's $1.75. It's fine. And the metro like stops underneath the W Hotel. So I
Yeah.
was like, I can just get off the metro,
The
walk
Hollywood and
upstairs,
Vine
yeah,
exit. Yeah.
and just walk upstairs and be at the place rather than like dealing with parking or getting dropped off at a Lyft and then having to like, I was right there. So I did that, and I went and I had my little spa day, and I remember distinctly like taking the metro back, and I walked down to the metro, and I was like, Victoria takes the metro all the time, but I don't think she gets off at this stop. It'd be so funny to see her. And then I literally walked past you, and I was like, what the how big is this city? And what
Yeah.
just happened? And you were like, I was just getting off to go to Trader Joe's. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't your normal stop
No,
or
it wasn't.
anything. It was so random.
Yeah, I was getting off the metro
Yeah.
and you were coming back down to the
Yeah.
metro to go home. And I did not know you as a person to take the metro.
The context.
Yeah, so all I knew, I'm sure I had like headphones in or whatever,
Uh-huh.
and I was just walking, and all of a sudden someone like makes a beeline to me.
Yeah, I was like walking past you, and I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, and I was like, and like trying to get out of your way because I was like, this person is like walking at me.
crazy,
And then I
like-
looked at your face, and I was like, oh my god. Yeah, because I just did not ever expect to see you in
Right.
that context.
And I had just been thinking, like, wouldn't it be funny? No,
Yeah.
I'm not going to see her. There's her. It's so random.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good metro trip. Actually, that's funny. I just told our friend Alejandra that story
Oh,
about a
really?
month ago because she and I went down to Hollywood to hang out with your brother Ed and his girlfriend Christina, and we took the metro down there because we didn't want to pay for an Uber and she didn't want to drive and deal with parking. So we just ended up taking the metro, which was perfect. It worked
Yeah.
out really well for us. But yeah, when we got off at the Hollywood and Vine station, I was like, one time I saw Kate here.
And we didn't even try. It wasn't
Yeah.
even planned.
That's so funny. Yeah.
So my favorite metro experience was, they do this every year, but I've only participated in it one year. So every year on New Year's Eve at 7 o'clock,
Yeah.
the buses and the metro in Los Angeles are free.
Yeah.
And that's a little public service announcement if you live in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
On New Year's Eve, it's a great thing that the city does for that night. They know everybody's going out and drinking. They want everyone to get home safely. I think they should do that for every holiday and possibly just every Friday and Saturday night.
I don't think you
Past
should
a
have to
certain time?
pay for public transportation at all.
No.
I think it should be free.
It should always be free. But because it's free on that night and it's like that one night of the year and it's such a special thing, it is the most fun time to take the metro. I went to a party in downtown and I took the metro down. We were trying to be there by 7, so we left before it was free, and it was just like a normal time on the subway, no big deal.
Yeah.
And then coming back, it was obviously after midnight, probably like 1:30 or something like that. And we went down to the metro, and usually you go down, you wait for the train to come, you get on the train, you sit down in one of the available spots, and it's pretty low key.
Yeah.
We went down to a sea of people. It was packed, like more packed than New York subway stations that I had seen. Like It was so many people. Every single person was the most drunk, the most happy version of themselves.
That's nice. Yeah.
Everything's gonna be great this year.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this.
This is my year.
Do that. There was a guy standing up on the steps, like leading everyone and eloquent. It was so fucking fun. Like it was a huge party at the metro. The train came, it filled up with people, and we were not one. Like, we had to stay
you had to
back
wait for the next one
because it was so full. I was like, I have never experienced this in Los Angeles ever, getting on the metro, because people don't usually take it that often.
Yeah, it's not that crowded. I mean, sometimes it's crowded enough so that there's not a seat available, but it's not usually so crowded that you can't fit on the train.
Right. Or there's not a seat available, and in the next stop there will be.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's not that many people. And it's usually one person is taking up, like, 3 seats with all of their shit.
Yeah.
So, because we live in Los Angeles, do you have a worst or best Uber or Lyft experience that you'd like to share? Because, as you have discussed, that is the immediate backup for public transportation. Not nearly as cost effective.
No, especially not. I think in the last few years, Uber has gotten so much more expensive.
Yeah.
I heard that when they first started, and for the next like 10 years, so until recently, I think that the company just like wasn't making money.
Yeah, it wasn't profitable or something.
But now they're charging like double at least to try to be profitable. Yeah. So it's not, it used to be not as cheap as public transportation, but it used to be a relatively affordable way to get around.
Yeah.
As opposed to having like a car. I mean, you could pay like $6 to get somewhere and it was fine. But yeah, now it's so expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, I've definitely been in Ubers where the driver maybe is not what I would call like a safe driver or even a very like considerate driver, like a lot of really sudden stops, a lot of swerving lanes, a lot of like texting. And I don't know. I mean, you guys have heard us talk about customer service jobs. Like, I understand that people who work in customer service are human and they can be themselves, and that's totally fine. But if you're putting someone else's life at risk by not doing your... Like, if I go into a restaurant and they, like, kind of ignore me, or maybe the food is not exactly the way I wanted it to be, whatever. But, like, if I'm getting in someone's car, I would like them to try to drive as safely as possible. Yeah. So I don't really have one nightmare story, but, yeah, I've definitely gotten in Ubers where I'm, like, I'm feeling a little ill, or, like...
Yeah.
My luggage has blown off the seat because they braked so suddenly. I've been in a lot of Ubers where they've almost rear-ended people.
Oh, gosh.
So, but do you have one story in particular?
I mean, there's definitely... I've shown up to work car sick from taking an Uber to work before, because it was just a lot of stop and go and stop and constantly, like, just jolting my body around.
Which, in LA traffic, it is a lot of stop and go.
No, this
you
was
just
like,
have to be gentle.
This was like the person on the gas wouldn't just hit the gas. It was like revving the, like, it was like a stop and go
when
of
I'm
a pedal.
In traffic,
so we were just jolting forward constantly, even just on the freeway. Like, it wasn't just let me put my foot in this one position. It was I put my foot forward and then back and then forward and then back and then forward. It was so unnecessary. There was one time, I mean, God, I remember one time going to a place and coming back, and both lifts were agonizing for different reasons.
Ugh.
Or Uber, I don't know which one it was. But
Yeah.
so the ride down to I'm sure it was somewhere over the hill. The ride there was the car that I got into, the guy was playing, you know how sometimes they're like, what kind of music do you want to listen to? Or what? And I just, oh, whatever, it's fine. Like, I'm not trying to be, this is your car. Like, I'm not trying to make you listen to whatever. Like, anything's fine is usually what I say. That's not true, but that is what I say.
Sure.
Because I'm a good person. And I'm like, I'm only in your car for 10 minutes and you might be like in a groove and maybe you want to. Sometimes you can get into Ubers and you're like, what is this song? You know?
Yeah.
And you can find some really cool new music that way. This was not one of those times. I got into a car, the radio was on, it was on talk radio. It was college football sports talk radio.
Oh, God.
The entire ride, I was listening to three men in a sweaty little studio discussing college football players
Okay.
at maximum volume. I thought that was the worst Uber ride I would take that day. On the way back,
Uh-oh.
I got into a very fancy, futuristic looking, some electric car. Don't even know what it was. I just knew I didn't know how to open the door. So the guy lets me in. Very, very nice, very sweet, very charming, like personable, very chatty, very hyper kind of gentleman. And we're talking about what do you do and all this kind of stuff. Like he's really wanting to have one of those get to know you conversations. And I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. This is what I'm doing. And then he tells me that he is a musician and rapper and a documentarian and all those people that are the creatives, and I'm just doing Uber and Lyft until all my other projects take off and all this kind of stuff. So he had mentioned that he was a musician and rapper, and I answer how you do, like, oh, okay. And then we get to a stoplight. I am in this man's car, unable to leave.
Oh, no.
And he turns on a song that is just the music, and he proceeds to start rapping.
No.
At me
What?
in the car at a stoplight. And he's just looking at me in the rear view
Oh, my God.
and rapping. And I'm,
Oh. Oh, my God.
okay. This is we could have had a railway system, for fuck's sake, but I have to sit here at the stoplight, and I am trapped.
Yeah.
I am trapped with a rapping man,
Yeah.
and I can't get out until we get to my apartment.
Did he
And I don't know
think
what
you
to
were
do.
going to start clapping?
I don't
or...
know. Yeah, that was, I don't
That's
think,
awful.
I,
I've never heard that story. That's bad.
I hope nothing ever tops that. I really, really do. I want that. I want to live the rest of my life with that being my worst.
I mean, besides the obviously terrible things that Uber and Lyft drivers have done to passengers,
Right. Yes.
excluding those horrendous things,
Yeah.
that is pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the worst thing that could happen, where you couldn't file a police report against.
Yeah.
I guess.
Did he think that you
Could
were
I?
some kind of industry
No.
person?
No. He just thought I was genuinely interested. And I don't know why, because I did not intend, I was not trying
Right.
to like, oh my God, you're a musician. What kind of music?
Right.
And I was
You're just giving like the bare
Uh-huh.
minimum response.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Oh, nice. Cool. Uh-huh. That was,
God.
I think I do appreciate when people are driving safely. I think, like emotional intelligence and the ability to read a room or read your car and just pick up on when someone is super interested.
Yeah.
Or maybe not.
Right.
And
God, that sounds so awkward.
yeah.
And was he at least good? I mean, I know it doesn't matter either
It
way
was
because you didn't
like-
want it, but like,
it was like, it was not my style.
okay.
It was like positivity rap. And
Oh.
it was very,
We're not about positivity.
yeah, no, not my thing. Not my thing. Okay, for our closing segment today, we are doing Not Dumb Things.
Okay.
I believe for the last Not Dumb Things or People, you selected Amanda Nguyen, who
Yes.
was a activist, philanthropist, astronaut who put her astronauting on hold to help write legislation to help people who are abused. And, you know, I really, when we started this podcast, I was hoping that trading episodes would bring out our different personalities. And I really think that that is the case. Because for my not dumb thing today, I want to talk about potatoes.
Okay. We both love potatoes.
They're great. And
Yeah.
I'm not trying to compare. I'm just saying potatoes are also awesome.
Yes.
Potatoes are amazing in every form.
Yeah.
They can go into different sauces. Lots of vegan sauces, vegan cheese sauces are made out of potatoes. They can help thicken things. They make literally everything better.
Yeah.
And so, potatoes.
Yeah, and they're delicious any way you cook them.
Right.
Like French fries are delicious, potato chips are delicious, a baked potato.
Baked potatoes, scalloped potatoes.
Yeah. Even just potatoes like diced and fried in some oil with a little bit of seasoning.
Tot form.
Tater tots. Yeah. I mean, I would probably just eat like a microwaved potato. Like they just taste good even on their own.
There's not really a way to prepare. The only way to have a bad potato is to not cook it, I
Right.
guess. But any way that you cook it.
As long as it's cooked, it
It's
doesn't
amazing.
matter how, it will taste good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, they bring us vodka.
Thank you, potatoes.
So, you know,
They're so versatile.
again, not comparing, but
No, I mean, Amanda
Nguyen.
Nguyen, you know, she's amazing and wonderful,
Yes.
and I admire her, and I applaud her. I also applaud the potato.
I mean,
So,
how can you not?
right.
Potatoes.
I've never met someone who doesn't like potatoes.
I think that's a red flag.
Yeah.
I think that would be a major red flag. That would be like, oh, so you are an alien wearing human skin.
Right.
Because what?
Like you don't
How-
like delicious things.
How?
Yeah.
How? There's a potato form for everyone.
Mhm.
It's an all-inclusive vegetable.
Mhm.
And because it's a it's one of the only vegetable that the skin is more delicious
Yeah.
when you keep it on.
Yeah.
Which also makes it healthier.
Yeah, I think the skins have like most of the vitamins and
Yeah.
stuff.
And the fiber and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why you should just scrub your potatoes and keep the skin on as
Right.
opposed to peeling them.
Why can't more vegetables be potatoes? That's my question.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of vegetables are not delicious, but that's not even their biggest crime. Their biggest crime is that they're not a potato.
They're not potatoes and they need to be potatoes.
Yeah. I agree. Good one.
Thank you.
I'm on board with this one.
I did slightly less research for that than you did.
That's okay.
All right, our next episode, Victoria will be hosting. It will be about social media.
Yes.
Heard of it? Speaking of social media,
Mm-hmm.
you can find us at Everything's Dumb Pod on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Please subscribe, please like, please leave a review telling us how great we are. We need to hear that. We need constant reinforcement.
Yes, we would love to hear
Positive
that.
reinforcement all the time. If you have a dumb topic, something that you think is stupid that is not potatoes, because obviously potatoes are the best,
Yep.
you can please reach out to us on any of those platforms. You could also email us at everythingsdumbpod@gmail.com to let us know, and maybe we will turn it into an episode if it's dumb enough.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
You can find more audio episodes anywhere you find podcasts. You can find more video episodes on YouTube. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for doing all of the wonderful things that you do.
Yay! Thank you so much.